Good evening, hello everybody, welcome to AEC Round 5 after the 1 week break that we've had here in Spain. Oh, it's good to be back. Good to be back on the booth. I'm swapping the gloves, back for the mic. Who knows, I think this could be a regular thing now. We'll see. We'll certainly see, but like I said, good evening, hello, welcome. As we're just waiting for everybody to get going, waiting for one person to find the A button on their bloody controller so we can get this going. Just having a good old stretch. But anyways, let's see what we're going to find. What we're going to find after, like I said, this 1 week break. Looks like it's going to be a dry qualifying. But good evening, Hav. Yes, it is me. Hello. It is the old man back in the booth again. Like I said, it's going to be a regular thing, this, maybe. Like I said, we'll see. I am on my own tonight, though. Which, again, is no problem for me whatsoever. Yeah. All alone. No one beside me. But it doesn't matter. It does not matter at all. But anyway, as we're going to wait for people to come out on track, what we will do is we'll quickly go through the standings. Obviously, because I am getting back into this, there's going to be no graphics or anything like that. If you're bothered by that, then please send in a complaint form to Mr. JT, although it was my decision to decide not to do it, so, you know, deal with it. So, just going to go into the team standings very briefly as the drivers are now going to come out on their first out laps. So, it is extremely tight at the top of the standings. BRT have a 3-point gap over Novus Racing. Novus did close in 4 points after the back out in France, actually, before the break week. But it was FRT who actually picked up the most points in the last race, so it was a very good result for FRT. That's twice now this in these first 4 races where they've scored the most points. It's just 2 mediocre races is what let them down, but, you know, currently sitting P4. So, yeah, it's Bunga Racing Team out in front from Novus, like I said, by 3 points, with TTM in 3rd, FRT currently holding 4th, and TF10 ran out the top half of the field. Followed by ASR, Team Shazoo, who have finally climbed up some places and now up into 7th place, but I'll tell you now, that's not where we want to be. Then it's AMS, FGE, and TIR, who are still on 0 points. Anyway, just going to go find the first driver who is going to be on a lap. It's going to be an AlphaTauri that is not David, it is Gabor. Right, we'll take it up. Do you know what? We'll go on board with him. We'll go on board with him. I was thinking we'll have a different view, but no. We'll go on board with Gabor. As he comes down the DRS straight. Now, Catalunya, it's a good, you know, it's an old track. Been around here, you know, since the early 90s now. So it's been around here for a good period of time. As Gabor flicks it through turns 1 and 2 and in through turn 3, flat out, keeping it right to the inside line there, as you want to do. But the thing is, as this session goes on, as we all know for this track, you are going to pick up a lot of marbles on the inside line. And, you know, as I said, as the session goes on, that is not going to be good. Into the hairpin of turn 5, Gabor there taking a nice tight line. Doesn't use the whole of the track on the exit. Maybe that's his line, I don't know. Into the left-right chicane. That sausage curb on the right-hand side can easily unsettle the car. Through turn 9, a flat-out corner if you've got the downforce for it. Gabor there taking that very nicely, flat out there. A 49.7 through the first 2 sectors. I don't know if that is good or not. Like I said, I cannot remember this track. I cannot remember what is a decent enough time. It's been several months since I've been on it. But Gabor now coming through the final 2 corners of what seems to have been a decent banker lap. Doesn't flick into 7th, back to 6th, stays in 6th gear through the final corner, across the start-finish line, and it's a 1:10.5 from Gabor. On his opening lap, his teammate, David, goes across the line and is over 3/10 behind him. So, it seems to be a very good lap there by Gabor. As everyone else starts coming across the line, we've got the 2 McLarens now coming over. Furious goes into 2nd, and his teammate Stonks just pips his teammate and takes that 2nd place. So good start there from TTM on their first 2 drivers. We have one of the Red Bulls now coming across to the line, and that indeed was Arch, who goes into P5. His teammate Alik is about to finish the middle sector and a 49.9, so that's a good 2/10 down on what Gabor's done. So, but again, this is early days, very early days. Let's go on board with our lobby host Jacob, and he does a 111 flat bottom with a very solid 124.5. That's is he on wets? No, he's not on wets, but yeah, obviously he made a mistake somewhere during that lap as Epicus just goes ahead of him on a 112A. I thought maybe it was on intermediates, but no, not quite in the intermediate tyres. BRT's Justin goes 10th, and his teammate Jaeger goes ahead of him into 7th place. And now we have the two Williams, or one of the Williams, which is Patrick, who's just finished his lap. Simba Rocks 1 now coming to finish his lap. He's going to be one of the final people to finish their lap, and he will be the final person to finish their initial run. Simba Rocks 1, where does he go? Into P14. So one person not setting a lap time, which is Liam Hardman. Don't know if he actually came out on track or not. Mormon setting a blistering wet time pace, and but yeah, up at the front, top 4 drivers separated by just less than a 10th of a second, with Gabor out on top, but closely followed by the 2 TTM drivers, then TF10 of Trey and Judy in P4 and P5 respectively. So good initial runs there. Good. It's a very, very quick pace. Harv, obviously you're a man of the people. What sort of times should we be looking at here? Because like I said, I don't have a clue in the slightest. So now we're going to have the little bit of the lull before everyone is going to come out in the second one. Obviously, I've got no idea what the race is going to be like, whether or not it's going to be dry. Pole might be a 0.3. Yeah, I mean, I can probably go with that. I mean, the fact that Gabor's already done a 0.5, as that seemed a bit too close there between Simba and the Alpine there, coming into the pits. Obviously, the Alpine's run out of fuel. You're probably right. Obviously, I'm going to take your word for it that it'll be a 0.3, but obviously the track will rub rain. But I do think, or part of me might think, that the second runs will actually be the quickest, because like I said, as we know, the excuse me, with the marbles, like you can already see the marbles coming on Gabor's tyres there, because we've got an off-board with him. But yeah, they're certainly going to be a factor later in the qualified and into the race. It's going to be very difficult to pass offline. But obviously, these guys are all pros, as we shall say, and see what we got. But obviously, everyone get your predictions in. Tell me who you think is going to take pole and win this race, and how many safety cars you think we're going to have. I'm going to go with 2. Expect quite a few to get 0.5 to better. I mean, well, we've obviously already got Gabor on a 0.5 already have, so I do expect, like I said, yeah, I do expect quite a few more people to get up there. You know, the likes of Stonks, Furious. I do expect both my guys to get up there as well. But it's a case of what, you know, this obviously is some people's best track. Gabor pole, Agonize win, 1 safety car. I mean, he's got a lot of work as Agonized. I mean, he's going to have to get a bit closer to the front. But, I mean, you can win from any position. We all know that, from real life and you know, gaming. So, you know, you can win from anywhere. But, you know, I think with the strong lineup that we've got here, I think that could be quite difficult, as Gabor has started his second run. Goes a bit wide there through the exit of turn 2 and has immediately invalidated his second run there. So Gabor not having the best of starts. So we'll go on board with Agonized, who will be the next driver to try not to invalidate their lap. He's marginally up through the first sector on his current best, so hopefully there's a lot more time for him to find through the middle and last sectors. You can see there, going through into that hairpin of turn 5, the amount of pickup that he's already got on his tyres there. He's got a Red Bull and David in front of him. Hopefully they're going to stay well out of the way as he comes through the very fast turn 9, down the DRS straight into the new tight hairpin, and 4/10 up is Agonized. So all that time that he had lost in his first attempt was in that middle sector. So at the moment, Agonized looking good here to take provisional pole on his second run. Very, very nicely let through the right hand, as obviously this last car, and so he actually does it differently to Gabor. Stays in 7th gear to try and keep the speed up, maintain that speed. And where does he go? He does go quickest. Didn't do a PB last sector, but he just goes ahead of the MVR driver. Does Agonize, so it's a good effort there. Stonks has bailed out of his lap. We do have obviously the Williams coming across the line to start their laps. That'll be Simba Rock Swan. David improves on his time, but only goes up a few places. Trey is just starting his lap. The Alpine again also going to finish lap. There's a Ferrari then pitting. There's a Red Bull coming to the end of Sector 2. That is not elite. That is Arch, who is 15 seconds down as he has also invalidated his lap. Everyone seems to be struggling on their second runs at the moment. Chudy not improving at the moment through the first 2 sectors. So hopefully he's got a bit more time to find in that last sector. He's got one of the Aston Martins of, whether that's Justin or Jaeger, and in fact Chudy is backed out of it, not happy with that lap time. Indeed, it was Jaeger that was behind him, but we're going on with Furious, who's going to finish his lap. He's marginally up through the middle sector, and Furious goes ahead of Agonize, takes provisional pole for the time being at a 1:10.494. Good lap there from Furious to improve, and obviously and get to the top of the field. We have Elite. I think there'll be Elite now coming to finish his lap. Again, he's marginally up in his time, and again stays at only that 800s improvement, but does move up into 8th place at least and gets within the top 10. So we have another AlphaTauri coming to end to finish their lap, but Gabor decided to go again on that set of tyres, but did not improve and was 300s down. So no improvement there from Gabor. Bourbon Boy has invalidated. His teammate Sasha Andre is going to come across the line to finish his lap. Goes ahead of Simrock, someone with a 1:11 dead, but finds himself half a second down from Furious. So top 15 separated by half a second, but Furious has now taken the lead, taken the relay baton, and has decided to leave the train this time being. Jaeger UK for the win. Trust me, don't. I won't trust you, Jay. Don't worry. I don't see you. I mean, look, Jaeger's a good driver. We know how much he's improved, and again, anything can happen. But yeah, personally, I don't think he'll win. Will I think he can get a good result? I don't see why not. But again, you know, with the lineup that we've got in here and here tonight, you know, there's some big names out representing their teams. I'm not too sure. So we'll go on board with Lucas. He's going to finish his lap now. Both Haas drivers are just finishing that. Epic, I don't think improved. He's starting a new lap. Luca just improves, but doesn't actually improve his position. Stays in 14th. But so that's gonna have to find a bit more time going into his last run. But that's the second run's done. And again, as I mentioned earlier, tyre pickup is going to be a big factor going on to this last run. I know this from one thing I can remember is going to the start of well, in Sector 1 through Turn 3, the amount of rubber that you pick up on the inside, as that was a Williams and Simbarox 1 going up into P12, the 110.8. Simbarox 1 could actually be a dark horse here. I mean, we know like everybody, he's got their good tracks and slightly worse tracks, but I do expect a good result from Simba. I don't know what it is. Something about it. I think, to be honest as well, actually, he has picked up quite a lot of the points, but again, I could also be talking complete and utter rubbish. I mean, one person who has picked up a lot of the points for their team is Furious. I mean, he hasn't done the last 2 races. He did the first 2, but did pick up 2 second-place results and the pole position and the fastest lap in the first round, Australia. So, obviously, as we know, no surprise that Furious is is towards the front. Is that McLaren of Stonks finishing his lap? It is a McLaren of Stonks. I've completely and utterly missed that. Apologies, but Stonks is just over a 10th up at the moment. So if he keeps that up, he is going to make it a TTM front row for the time being. 2 corners to go for TTM. Stonks just missing that apex a little bit, but didn't manage to scrub the speed too much. And actually, he goes ahead of his teammate by 200ths of a second. But I think that might be Stonk's finish with 5 minutes to go potentially. I mean, he's got time to get back, but it depends on how many sets of tyres that he's got. But at least for the time being, it is a TTM all front row, and that is what they need to close the gap to the likes of NVR and BRT. Currently sitting 3rd in the team's championship, and you know, a 1-2 in qualifying is not going to do any harm whatsoever. Trey, I don't think anyone is out on a lap at the moment. Chudy is on a lap actually, so we'll go on board with Chudy. 300s down at the end of the first sector, and I have seen better Sector 1 times. I remember Agonize doing the low 0.3, so maybe Chudy is running, you know, different downforce settings, so hopefully he's got more time to find in the middle sector for Team TF10. Coming through the left-right chicane. Takes him very, very nicely through Turn 9 now. Does he take it flat? Yes, he does. Easy flat there for Chudy. It is Alfa Romeo. Let's see. Get that Sector 2 split, and he's now 200s up, so he's found about nearly a 10th of a second through that middle sector, but he's got to find a bit more, because at the moment he's actually not even going to go ahead of his teammate TF10 Trey, with TF10 currently sitting on the 3rd row of the grid. And in fact, Chudi has decided not to finish, so hopefully he's got another set of soft tyres that he can then take and go for one more run. But we'll go on board with his teammate Trey, who's going to be the next driver to finish the lap. And Stonks, yeah, so that is, as I thought, that is Stonks done. That's his qualifying finish with less than 5 minutes to go. We can now just put his feet up. Trey, end of sector 2, half a tenth up at the moment. But again, that's no, and that's the rear just, there was no traction there whatsoever for TF10 Trey. And that lap is now gone. All the time the aid gain is now just evaporated. So that's going to be the second TF10 driver going to box and not complete their lap. Elite wrist through the first sector, half a tenth up on his current best at the time being. I know Elite is oh, and well, that's lighting the tyres up, but that's also a bit of a rookie mistake from Elite, going onto the grass, I think, there before turning into turn 5 and showing us how to Tokyo drift. Find someone who's actually on a lap. Arch has finished his lap, has gone into P6 at least. Obviously missed that as I was busy watching it late, but at least Arch with nearly a 2/10 improvement has split the two TF10 drivers. Aston Martin of Justin is about to start his lap. It looks like he's backed out of his lap because he is on a lap, so he must have made a mistake somewhere. And yeah, 22 seconds down. Yeah, he's made a mistake somewhere. I think at the moment, yeah, he is going to be the only person on a lap. Elite hopefully has got enough fuel to go again. There's a random over Justin going through turn 3. Does have a car on the inside line, but that McLaren's going to be well out of the way of Furious. Justin through that first. Oh, it gets a little bit of a wobble there. The car not really wanting to grip through the through turn 4 into turn 5. Look at again the marbles that he's picked up on his front right tyre. Decides to take all the track compared to how Gabor did earlier on, not doing it, and well, Justin's just turned in way too early there, and that's his done. That's him done unless he's got enough fuel to go again. Doesn't look like he's going to, so I think that's Justin done, but only down in P12. He's going to have to find a lot of time. Luca looks like he's backed out. He's going to go again. Oh, there's actually nobody on the lap that's actually anywhere near completing. Everyone there's going slow. There might be a Williams and Patrick on a lap, and indeed there is a Williams and Patrick on a lap. So Patrick's going to be the first driver to complete their final run down towards the end of this session. 10th and a half up nearly, currently on his personal best at the moment, but at the moment that 10th and a half is only going to put him ahead of Luca into P15, so he's going to have the final sector of all final sectors if he wants to get anywhere near the top 10. Through the final corner, stays in 6th gear, scrums a little bit of speed there compared to others that we've seen, and in fact Patrick only manages to improve one position up to P16. So it's going to be a bit of an uphill task for Patrick come for the race. Jacob is about to start his lap. Gabor looks like he's had a spin. So it just ghosted for no particular reason whatsoever. Yeah, it looks like, well, TF10 definitely have got another set of tyres, so they are going again. So we will go on board with Sasha, who has done a solid 1 minute 25, so that's actually slower than the wet time of Bourbon Boy that he did earlier, so that's... Yeah, we won't say any more on that. I can't tell if Gabor's actually up on his time or not. It hasn't given me any... Well, that's my answer. He isn't. So we'll go on board with Furious instead, as he comes to finish his lap. Currently TTM are still 1 and 2 at the moment, but can Furious demote his teammate and take that pole position back? He can't. He improves in the final sector, but not on his time. Stays P2 and his 8,000 sounders. That's Trey going for a spin through turn 8 there. Caught that at the perfect time. Simba Rocks 1 stays in 13th. Chudi pits. Jaeger finishing his lap, goes up into the top 10 at least, goes into P9. Got the Haas of AMS Epic, who's pulled over to the inside. There's a Ferrari of Jacob coming through. He's pitting. So now we're going to go board with the Mercedes of Sam. Sam not up in his time, but can he find some time in this last sector? The answer is yes, he can. 4,000s. And actually, if he found just a little, even an extra 100th more, that'd have improved him by 2 positions. So a little bit unfortunate, but obviously made a mistake somewhere in sectors 1 and sector 2. And I think the apart from Sasha Andre, who is now derating, and in fact is 9.5 seconds down, that is your qualifying over and done with. And TTM dominating qualifying with a front row lockout. They're going to be mightily impressed and happy with that. That's definitely what the doctor ordered. That's a fantastic result for TTM. Agonize though getting P3, so Harv, you're going to be happy. You've got to be happy with Agonize getting P3. You know, your man there, your guy for the win. You can't be much happier, or you can't ask for too much more than that. But top 3 separated by less than 1/10 of a second. The top 11 separated by less than 0.3 of a second. So it's extremely close. But obviously, as we all know, well, that's obviously a fastest lap, but the fastest lap, that's a pole position point for TTM and for TTM Stocks. But it's Stocks from Furious around, that's your front row of the greats, followed by Agonize, Gabor, Trey, Arch, Judy, Sam, Jaeger, and Elite Wrist round at your top 10. Followed by David, Justin, Simbarox 1, Jacob, Luca, Patrick, Sasa Andre, Bob and Boy, Epic, and Liam, who decided not to set a lap time, obviously deciding want to keep all those soft tyres for the race and attempt a last to first, probably. That was a thrilling qualifying. Extremely close. Didn't quite get the one, didn't quite get the 0.3 half that, we may have thought, but still, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at the end of the day. Yeah, what happened in EOR? Let's have a look. 1 and 6 for TTM. Oh, so happy with that result, Tez? 1 and 6? I'm hoping so. You can't ask for too much more, unless you really wanted a 1-2, but you've still got a chance now. You got your boys on the front row of the grid. Not too sure what the weather's going to be like here for the race, but at the moment, it looks like it's exactly as it was in qualifying. Bone dry, sun is shining in Spain as you'd expect it to be. Up in Catalonia, you can't ask for much more. I just hope that everyone brought the sun cream. I sure as hell wouldn't. I'd probably go pink or purple. I've done that before. Yeah, get your predictions in, everyone. What do we think? Obviously, Harvey's going for his man Agonize for the win. What do I well, obviously, strategy is going to be important and quite key here. As I actually need to say to everyone when to ready up. That's, unfortunately, is my job. Yes, we will go at 26. Multitasking is Justin, you do as I tell you to. So less than 2 minutes, and well, we'll decide and see who's going to ready up first and get this ball rolling. In fact, actually, it's now 1 minute, so that's plenty of time. They've had a minute or so. We don't want to be kept waiting. Spectators want to see action. We will give them action. And hopefully we don't get a lot of death and destruction into turn 1. But anything is possible. Here's a question though for everyone who's listening and watching. Am I a better commentator or driver? Very important question. I want to know. Obviously, I won't be sore by whatever answer that you give me. It's going to take a lot. There's nothing that you'll say that I've probably not heard. Ooh. Tell you one thing that I was surprised on before, hopefully we get this race started very soon, was the fact that Alonso was Joseph. Oh, great, he's here. He's in the chat now, for God's sake. What I was going to say was I was very surprised in FP2 at Jeddah, the fact that Alonso was quickest. Is that a sign? Is that a sign that the Aston Martin is a lot better hit there than it was at Bahrain? It'd be good to see him win a race again. That's something that, obviously we were denied of it last season, but let's hope we do get it this season. But here we go, everyone. 5 red lights here at the Circuit de Catalunya. And it's lights out, and away we go. And the TCA boys are hopefully going to make a bit of a, well, a bus blocking parade here for everyone behind them. But it looks like Stonks and Furious have had a decent start. Agonize is going to try and look down the inside. Try and make it. Oh, there's contact! Contact. Agonize looked like he made a bit of a tap there. And there's another car off into the wall. I think that's Gabor. And indeed it is Gabor. Carnage at turn 1. And there's even more carnage at the back. Luca is out. That is about half the grid nearly that have been absolutely murdered. Both NVR drivers have been caught up in that. And surprisingly, there is no safety car and no VSC at all. But, yeah, well, at least, obviously, well, Stonks has obviously gone away and has managed to get away with that. Trey into P2. Elite Riss is up into P3. The grid has fully shaken up. Agonize is down to P12. And, well, that, I think, all started with the little bit of collision that Agonize made with the rear of Furious, and that set off a bit of a chain reaction. I mean, you can see the position changes there. I mean, obviously, Stonks has maintained his lead, but look at that. I mean, Archer's got caught up in that somehow as well. The amount of positions that people have lost. But, you know, Bourbon up 8, Sasha up 8. It's... yeah, I don't really know what else that you can really say. But if we have a look at the tyres, I mean, oh, wow. So, near enough everybody has gone for the hard tyres. Apart from TF10 Train, the 2 Shizou drivers have gone for the soft compounder tyre. And we've got four drivers in the pits, no doubt 4 wing changes. Yes, Harvey, I was going to show the tyres. All right, chill out. All right, just get the first lap out the way. And, you know, well, I say try and settle down, but unfortunately for 4 drivers, they're going to have to hope that there is a safety car coming out now. Well, obviously, yeah, Nath, you're going to have to hope for a safety car because both of your drivers have had, I'm going to say through no fault of their own, you know, and now at the back, well, obviously you've got Gabor in last, and he's actually 8 seconds from the car in front. David obviously is still in the race. He's not had to make a pit stop, but he's on his own. 2 seconds in front, 2 seconds behind. Lucas left the session, obviously, because he's unfortunately not running anymore. But the top 2 of Trey and Elite on those soft tyres going to have to make these worth. They've got to the front of the train, but they have to, excuse me, they're going to have to get burning and get moving if you want to get a gap to the hard tyre runners. See there, Sam's actually burned quite a bit of battery already just to try and maybe stay with the top 3, and he's actually got the big, I mean, minus Patrick being 3 seconds off the lead train, has got the biggest gap to try and catch up in front. So Sam's got quite a bit of work to do. I'm going to have to push him very hard if he wants to stay in that train. But top 10 in his front train, mixture of teams in there. Jacob's actually up into P8, so a good start. Well, obviously he's just avoided all the carnage. So yeah, very good there from Jacob to be up in amongst. Obviously Simbrock's there up into 7th. Obviously Justin into 6th. So big winners, as we know, big losers. It looks like Arch is probably going to want to make a move on his soft compounded tyres to try and get ahead of Patrick up for P11. But this is, well, it's now going to be the lull as Arch is going to send it down the inside with the help of DRS. Oh, bit of contact there actually between the pair of them, but thankfully no damage caused there. Arch does get up into P11, lost a little bit of time actually whilst doing that, but that's him. Like I said, at least he's up a position. We'll go back towards the front. Sam actually now within, well, nearly 9/10 off the off Stonks in front of him, as Elite has now gone for the lead of the race and does take the lead from TF10 Trey. Stonks holding his own in P3. Looks very comfortable actually on his hard compounder tyres and has a lot of batteries. So yeah, Stonks definitely looking very strong at the moment. He'll let the 2 in front of him do the work. He'll just, you know, just tag along, and then when they do pit, you know, much earlier, he will then just, you know, take the lead of the train and just try and pull away as best he can. He's definitely looks like he's got the pace, whereas Sam for Team FLT look like he is struggling a little bit. He's actually going to come under pressure from TF10 Judy, the second TF10 driver. So TF10 again, obviously in 2nd and 5th, are having a good start. It's early days. We've still got 29 laps to go. So we don't know what the weather's going to be like. Does anybody know what the weather's going to be like? Is it going to rain? Is it going to stay sunny all race? Anyone know? Any engineers want to tell me? Dry. Okay. Answers that question, dry all race. So we're not going to have any of my hosting shenanigans of any, you know, late rain at the end of a race. That'd just be too predictable. Chudy now going for the move on FRT Sam. He sees the gap was opening up a little bit in front of him, burns a bit of his battery, and Chudy takes P4 away from FRT Sam. I think Sam's probably not going to be too fussed with that. I'd have thought he wouldn't be, because he wants to try and stick with this train. But again, this top 10 just all comfortably on their own. Well, we all know it's just going to be a DRS train now, pretty much. Until much later on, as there's a nice little bit of lag and desync there. That was lovely. I was about to say Stonks made a big mistake, but no, it's Jacob's hosting capabilities. Simmerhawks one now looking like he's losing a little bit of time, as is Jacob. With Sasha tucked behind, so obviously two teammates at the back of this train of Sasha and Bob and Boy. Try and bring each other along, but I think, to be honest, there isn't going to be a great deal that's happening. Maybe the top two might just switch places just to, you know, bring themselves along and not get, you know, not be attacked from behind. We'll see what TF10 Trey decides to do. Obviously, Elite is not going to be on the battery at all. Does Trey decide to go for the move? The answer is no. I think that's pretty much what we're going to have for a little time now. Arch hasn't managed to pull away from Patrick at all. Furious hasn't been able to close in. Obviously, he is on those hard tyres, as Stonk's getting very close there to the back of Trey. I wonder if these soft tyres are already starting to go. It looked like Trey's made a mistake. Stonk's half looking down the inside. Nothing quite doing, but I think already we're starting to see these soft tyres starting to wear quite a bit, and the pace is already not there. And maybe Stonks is going to decide to maybe go for a move down to the hairpin. Perhaps he's got all the battery in the world he wants, and he is going to deploy that battery. Trey going to defend to the inside line. Stonks will try and hang it around the outside. Can he do it? Can he hang it around the outside line? Trey, oh, good hard defending there from Trey to hold Stonks off, and maybe he's going to try and get his teammate to join in on the action as well. As Justin also closes in into the back of Sam, so the battling aside a bit early. Trey maybe struggling a little bit more, as I just saw a bit of a banner board go off into the gravel trap there. Stonks again burning the battery. Trey going to defend to the inside line. He doesn't probably want to make a move on Elite Risk. Let Elite Risk lead this race, and in fairness, actually, that's very good defending by Trey. You're going to block off the outside line, so with Elite Risk being there. So very good defending, as Justin has actually made the move on FRT Sam. Stonks going to try again, this time around the outside of turn 4. Does he leave enough space? Yes, he does. That's a great move there from the TTM driver. Stonks getting into P2 as Trey, you can see, look, he can't hit his apexes, and surely there's going to be a bit of team orders here from TF10 to let Chudy go, to stick with Stonks. Obviously, these soft tyres may be overheating. I mean, the wear isn't too bad, but we know it's the tyre delta. Stonks will no doubt probably want to take the lead at the start of the next lap down the DRS straight, down that pit straight, as Bourbon is actually looking like he's very close to dropping out the DRS, but he's managed to gain a little bit of time back coming through the start of this final sector. But we'll stay on board with a ride with Stonks coming through the final corner. Activate the DRS, he's not going to burn any battery. I don't think he needs to, really, to be honest. And there's the swap from TF10 as expected, and Stonks will want to get a car in between him and TF10 Chudy, and indeed he does. Stonks retakes the lead after getting that pole position, taken to lap 8, does retake that lead. Elite Risk dropping to P2, but Chudy also on the move, getting ahead of his teammate into P3. Will want to try and overtake Elite Risk in the next lap or two if he can, because Stonks will get on the afterburners and try and pull away. Obviously the 4 at the back, obviously all on their own. Agonize is closing. I think that gap's close 7 seconds to Epic, but obviously they're all going to have to hope for a safety car of some form, because at the moment there's well, they're just driving around for, oh well, I won't even say for fun. Just driving around praying and hoping that something might happen. Coming in through the final sector, BRT Justin now will See if he can try and close in a little bit onto TF10 Trey. Sam, obviously struggling a little bit. I don't think he's got any damage. Obviously, he has been overtaken by a couple of the hard tyre runners. Maybe it's just the fact with the battery that he's burning, he's pulling out the slipstream to try and cool his car down. Justin not close enough to make a move at the moment on TF10 Trey, but the soft tyre runners look like they're keeping with it this time, actually. Elite Risk getting close to the back of Stonks, so there is still life left in them, but they're going to have to... well, I'm thinking they're going to... oh, Sam goes very wide through turn 3. I'm taking a different line. I think it's going to be what? It's going to be the next 3 or 4 laps when the soft tyre runners are going to start to pit. It could even be earlier than that if you want to go for a big undercut, but again, is the undercut really worth it on this game? Because drop-off is just so much quicker. The answer to that is no, as Jaeger decides to go for a move past Agonize down the DRS straight and now leads the reconnaissance charge, as it were, of those who had to pit. They've dropped Leon Hardman finally. He's now out and lost DRS, so Jaeger and Agonize maybe sort of working together perhaps to try and close into Epic if they can. Epic doesn't seem to have the pace unless he's got a bit of wing damage. We can only wait to see. Furious still not really closing in to the back of Arch or Patrick, who are sort of maintained about 4 seconds now behind this top train, as it has been for the last 3 to 4 laps now. Maybe, I don't know if Furious picked up damage. Obviously he was hitting the corner and damage is on reduce, so I don't think he shouldn't have any underfloor damage, but as we know with this game, anything can happen. As Arch does go for the move past on Patrick, obviously they're just working with the DRS with each other to try and close in, and he takes that P11. Top 10 though, batteries, some of them are quite similar actually, but there are some who are clearly got quite a bit more than others. Quite a few of them in the high 60s, mid 70s, but there are, you know, the likes of Sam, who does need to recover that battery a bit more, may struggle later in the race as Agonize now retakes P16 away from Jaeger, and again those two are just going to keep chopping and changing as this race goes on until they pit. But lap 10 out of 33, still a long way to go. And I think it's a case of everyone just put your feet up and let's just wait for the soft tyre runners to start degrading their tyres a bit more. Unless Justin decides to burn the battery a bit to close in a bit on Trey. He is closer than he has been on the previous lap, 3.5 tenths behind. And he is gaining a bit down this straight, a tiny little bit, even without using the battery, but I don't think he's interested for going for any moves as of yet. And indeed, he does stay behind for the time being as Stonks leads this train. Third of the way now into the race. Trey does actually have a lot of battery. Considering he's on those soft tyres, that's how he's doing a very good job actually, come and think of it, but he's barely used anything at all. As once again, well, literally the only overtaking that's happening at the moment is Jaeger and Agonize just swapping between themselves, trying to push themselves forward. They're now within 10 seconds of AMS Epic in front, but well, wait, they're going to have to pit again for the medium tyres as it is anyway, unless they went for the softer compound. Why is Arch down there? We had a massive collision, Smeg, on the first lap between turns 1 and 3. There was it all initiated with Agonize tapping Furious, which then set off a chain reaction. And, you know, 4 drivers had to pit. About nearly half the field got caught up in it. Oh. Don't tell me I'm reading that right. Ogwyn, you can't be serious. Oh, no way. It's literally, this is the curse of me commentating. If everyone's reading that in the chat, maybe I shouldn't commentate anymore, because I'm literally a curse for my own freaking team. Oh. Tez, unless you're drunk, I don't think that's how you spell friendly fire. Oh, but yeah, no, I mean, I linked in P2 at least, but yeah, that is definitely friendly fire. Maybe drunk. Yeah, so that means you are drunk. What have you had? Vodka? Beer? It's a bloody, hang on, it's a work night as well. It's a bloody, what happens on a Thursday? Alcohol-free Bud Light. I mean, if that goes to your head, then I don't think what happens when you actually have something proper to drink. Smeggy, we know that you're a raging alcoholic, so, you know, we don't need to go into that anymore, as we do have the first of the pit stoppers, and it's Arch going onto the medium times, and Patrick surprisingly coming into the pits. That's a very early stop for someone who was on the hard tyres. Maybe he just wants to stay with Arch and try and close in as much as they can to the into the top 10, but both of them going onto the medium tyres. They're going to have to get those the last 21 racing laps. Now, that is no easy task. The only good thing I can say is that they have come out behind AMS Epic, so at least by the time they get their tyres up to temperature, they can pass him down the DRS straight, or at least Arch will be able to pass him down the DRS straight between turn 9 and 10. In fact, he doesn't. He may send it into turn 5. Very half-heartedly, and that's a collision! Yeah, maybe I, maybe I shouldn't commentate anymore now, because I am literally a burden, as that's Epic into the wall again, and I thought he was actually stuck in the... That's a lovely reset to track. We won't talk about that anymore. That's maybe Shizou with the a 2 kill streak now, so one more, and it's that's a UAV or a spy plane, whether it's on themselves or, you know. No. Yeah, I know you. Back in my day, Tez. You know, back in my day. You know, when I was in my prime, which was a long time ago. Come on, come on, Smeg. We won't have that language in the chat. Oh, God, I'm trying to get a typical to say sorry, man. I mean, why? Why? As Epic has decided to return to the pits, and here we have the first of the soft tyre runners. Trey doesn't pit, but Elite Risk makes the pit stop. We'll go onto those medium compound tyres, and we'll take those to the end of the race. And yeah, be about right at a lap 14. Trey deciding to go one more lap. I mean, he is still in the DRS of his teammate, so why not? As Elite Risk will go for the undercut. Is that a... That's obviously a bit of lag, unless the Red Bull have decided to do a much longer pit stop. Boban literally has no bats here. Sasha is clearly doing his own circuit there. Not too sure where he was going. I don't know what the nearest track is to Catalonia from here, but whichever track it is, that's where he was going. But Boban boy clearly struggling to try and stick in the DRS train, as is Sasha. So both Alpines doing their best to try and stick in the train. As Judy, it's 8 tenths behind, but now closed into 6 tenths behind. Stonks was going to be on the battery to try and pull away a little bit, but Judy managing to stay within the DRS. I expect Trey to pit in this lap, so Justin will have to be on the battery to stick within the DRS. Does Trey? No, Trey does not pit. He seems to be quite happy, but he's going to come under attack now from the BRT Aston Martin driver of Justin. But no, Trey obviously looking like he has burnt a bit of battery. Close in on his teammates, stick within that, as Chudy's actually close right onto the back of Stonks through turns 1 and 2. But I expect Trey to really struggle this lap. You know, the fact that he's got these soft compounded tyres to go as far as he has, as there's an Alpha Tauri, and that is Gabor, who has, I'm guessing, had a spin, or a half spin of some form. And, well, if his race wasn't bad enough as it was, that's the cherry on the cake. Smeg, typical isn't a dog, all right. Oh, as Justin goes for a slide. Thinking that he was on Need for Speed Underground or something. Or maybe Forza Horizon. Yeah, Smeg, I mean, yeah, typical ain't no dog. Okay. Is that really necessary? Justin all over the back of TF10 Trey, and Trey does indeed now go into the pits. So Justin is going to be obviously going to have the DRS. He's going to have to burn that battery just so he can try and stick and get close to Judy and drag both Sam, Simba Rocks One, Jacob still in that train doing a fantastic job. Is Jacob, but Sasha has now dropped out of the DRS. Both him and Bourbon now out of the DRS on their own train, and probably going to have to come up with a different strategy so they can try and stick it in, or stick with the top runners. As Elite obviously has gone ahead of Trey. Interesting to see what the difference is between Elite Risk and TF10 Trey. Elite is ahead of David now as they go through turns 1 and 2, and that gap is 3.5 seconds. Will probably increase as Trey gets his tyres up to speed. Yeah, well, that's how I say it, Joseph. Shut up. How was EOR, by the way, Joseph? How was commentary for that? Was it all right? Fun? Or do you prefer the engineering? Yes, fun. Yeah, that's what we like to hear. Good. I'm glad you had fun. I'm glad you had fun. As now we have the front runners going into making their pit stops. Stonks, Judy, and Justin staying out, as does Bomboy. Well, he had to. But Sam, Simba, Jacob, Sasha all coming into the pits, going for the undercuts on those ahead of them. But Elite Risk, if this game will let me go on board with him, with a lot of battery, actually, bear in mind, is going to be comfortably out ahead. And Sam's going to be his nearest challenger. In fact, it's actually going to be Trey. So Trey does also, well, actually maintains position. He was ahead of all of this, all that lot anyway. But that gap between Elite and Trey is a good 4 seconds. And Trey was, what, 4th in that train? So Elite Risk is going to be the net race leader. It's a case of, with the battery that he has, with 15 laps to go, can he stay ahead? And can he keep the pace to those in behind? Surely the top 3 will pit this lap. I mean, Bourbon has to pit. He's now dropped 4.5 seconds off the back of Justin. I think Bourbon might actually find himself. He's going to be on his own. And indeed, the top 3 all do pit. Thankfully, the bump doesn't... Oh, Justin hits the wall. Unless that was lag coming into the pits. Well, there was a bit of desync there, actually. But hopefully, Justin didn't pick up any damage. Furious is going to stay out another lap and just hope for a safety car, because he's not going to lose anything if he pits or doesn't pit anyway. I think he was down in, what, 10th, 11th? No, he's actually not, 12th place he was. So Elite Risk will be on net leader, and once he gets the move done on Furious. But obviously the likes of Stonks, Judy and Justin will have 4 lap fresher tyres compared to him, so can they close that gap? Obviously Sam has caught up to the back of Trey already, and does have a hard tyre runner in between him and Stonks, who just managed to stay ahead of Simba Rocks One. But Simba Rocks One has gained a few places as Tudy goes for a lunge down the inside into turn 4. Simba having absolutely none of it with that cutback, and that is a lovely move. And Tudy once again sending it from Narnia. And a bit I mean, I understand he wants to get ahead so he doesn't lose any time to Stonks. But that was a bit aggressive there by Tudy, but at least, you know, no damage done for the time being. I don't think Simba Rocks One is going to be quite happy with that. Oh, now we got a big cluster. Justin trying to go around the outside of Simba. And here comes Jacob in the background again. 3 wide going into the right-hander. This is asking for trouble. But somehow they all managed to keep it pointed in the right direction. Oh, somebody get me a drink. My throat cannot deal with this. Yep, definitely needed that. Definitely needed that. As Jacob, I can see going down the inside. Although going into turn 1 and gets that move done. Needed to get that done. And he and at least now he stays within this little mini train. So Stonks now leading this, what is now the 3rd train. Is 2 seconds behind Trey and Sam, obviously on their 1 and 2 lap older respective older tyres. But Elite Risk is now your He's now your leader. He's got ahead of Furious and has, like I said, he does have a 4-second gap to FRT Sam. So 13.5 laps to go. Can Elite Risk with his older tyres, can he hang this out to get a win for Team Shizou? Which will be some very much needed points with them being down in 7th place in the standings. Arch down in P13. Obviously, there are 2 drivers who still need to pit, so that'll be a net P11. But on 7-lap old tyres, and even if he is in the DRS of the teammates of Sasha and Bourbon, is a lot to ask for. Stonks closing into the back of the 2 ahead of me. He's already closed half a second on this lap alone. As FRT Sam actually sets the fastest lap of the race, but that is just going to be demolished. In fact, by Justin. Justin saying the fastest lap race, only by a couple of thousandths, but does get that fastest lap. As at the back of here, Sasha going for the move and gets that done, goes into P10, and I'm sure Bourbon will get the move done on the next lap. Typical what's going on with NVR, as Agonize picks up a time penalty and is actually boxing. I think he must have picked that up going on pit entry, of all places. But as for what happened, Typical, basically there was a big collision at turn 1, and Gabor just got sent straight into the tyre wall near enough, I think. Well, he did, because I think he had to pit for a new front wing change. And I don't know how Dawid was caught up in it, but he was actually he didn't have to pit, but he's just decided to stay out on his hard tyres and hope for I'm guessing he's just hoping for a safety car, which isn't coming. But one thing that is coming is TTM Stonks closing in on the back of Sam and Trey. So this 2-car train will now become a 5-car train. In fact, as Sam and Trey are being held up by Furious. Furious again also trying to stick out for a safety car. But there goes Sam down the DRS straight. Trey follows him through. And Furious is going to move over, let his teammate through. And he's now going to probably try and become a roadblock. And indeed he is going to become a roadblock for his teammate. Can he hold? And Judy's obviously not going to be happy with that there on the burners, sorry, with the ERS. Going down the inside of turn 4. Look at Furious trying to hang it around the outside, but the superior grip on those much fresher mediums, and Justin also follows him through. And I mean, it wasn't even really much of a defence. Obviously they tried to do something there with Furious's races compromised as it is, but well, that was just far too easy. You know, 21-lap old hards to 3-lap old mediums. It was no competition. But the gap at the front down to 2 seconds already now. So Sam doing a decent job. I mean, Elite does have a lot of battery, to be fair. He's doesn't need to push at this moment. It's Sam who's got the worst off battery. But Stonks is now on the back of Trey. And like I said, this 5-car train now will try and obviously work their way towards the leader. And Trey actually is going to go for the move down the inside into turn 1. FNC Sam Stonks trying to follow him through. Oh, I think he had a little wiggle there, but he managed to just keep his nose in through turns 2 and into turn 3, and again with a little bit of battery. What he's now just pulls in front of FLT Sam, but Sam losing 2 places there. Stonks thinking that he needed to get that move done. He does have the freshest tyres, minus the 2 obviously at the back of the train, and obviously needing to get a move on, as Simbarox 1 getting very close to the back of Furious now. Simbarox 1 has lost touch to the guys in front, and well, both he and Jacob have lost touch. So they're now going to be fighting for their own positions. But this is where the action is. This is where the higher points are dished out. Justin on the back of this train now, being led by Trey, as Simbarox 1 with DRS easily gets the move done on Furious. I mean, I think Furious may as well pit now for a set of soft tyres. Oh, yeah, and yes, yes, typical, it was Agonized that unfortunately tapped the back of the corner. But here we go now. Judy on the battery. He's got no battery, and in front of him, Stonks trying to force his way down the inside of Trey. Is it going to be because Trey goes across and misses the corner. I don't know if he was actually left enough room there by the Dutchman, but Stonks nevertheless goes into P2. Judy, I thought was going to make a move down the inside of his teammate, but he's not. In fact, it's Sam trying to make a move around the outside and Justin down the inside. Are we going to be 3 wide into the hairpin? No, Judy stays ahead. Justin going round the outside of FRT. Sam goes a little wide there on exit. Not sure if he was left no space, but Sam's going to have the inside into this little chicane as Gabor now picks up a penalty going to pit. So obviously he's now had that glitch by the looks of it, going and cutting the pit entry as Justin once again trying to wrestle that car through turn 9. But it's as we were. But Stonk's now leading this train, and look at this. He's already closed onto the back of Elite Riss. Obviously, Elite Riss with much older tyres, and that early pit stop obviously doesn't seem to be working. As Stonk's now, even without the help of ERS, just with the DRS, goes past Elite Riss for the lead of the race, and TF10 do swap their drivers round as behind them Justin gets the move done on Sam. So Justin making his way up now into P5. TF10 still 3rd and 4th, but have swapped their drivers round. And obviously Chudi, with those much fresher tyres, will be the biggest threat to Stonks probably at this moment in time. But Stonks will want to keep Elite Riss behind him as this race goes on. In behind them, Furious still hasn't pit. And in fact, well, obviously now coming up to the threat from Bourbon Boy, going around the outside of turn 5. And that's an easy move there for Bourbon Boy. Jacob now will be doing the same through the chicane, and indeed he does. And I can highly guess that Sasha, in fact, is going to go down the inside into turn 9, and well, that's 3 positions in 3 corners lost there for Furious. I think, well, I'm not too sure how those tyres are still going. I know they are hard tyres, and I know they've done 20. This will be the 25th lap they'll have done, but surely he's going to have to pit. Go on board with TF10 Chudi as Elite Riss just stays in the DRS of Stonks, who's literally got no battery whatsoever. Neither does Chudi, and in fact it's actually Elite Riss who's got a very good battery at the moment. In fact, he's got easily the best and the highest amount within that top 6. Agonized battery. You really want to see that, Liam? Do you really need to? I mean, I'll show it. It's fine. There's your answer. There's your answer. So, much less than your teammates. Does he want to know anybody ahead? Thought he'd be stuck at 100. I think I know what that's in relation to. Yeah. I'm not even going to go into that. As Gabo sets the fastest lap on his on those soft compounder tyres. Look at the amount of red lights flashing in the back of it of this top 6. Those that are harvesting. Elite Riss still managing to stay to the back of Stonks for the time being, but he has burned a bit of battery just so that he can. But I mean, what do you expect? As Arch looks like he's made an easy move. Oh no, he's actually already ahead of Patrick on one of those because of Furious making a pit stop finally. Going on to mediums, that's an interesting choice. Well, yeah, because alright, okay. Well, there's that. And there's that. Well, he's actually going into the pits, and my guess is he's going to retire. Or he's going on into the softs just so he can try and get the fastest lap and steal it away from you. Or he does that other first thing that I said. He could also do that as well. But it's both Haas drivers now obviously out. One BRT driver now out. Gabor will now actually at least go into P17, so at least he'll gain a position. There's a positive. There's a positive. I mean, it's still, unfortunately, not any points, but it's a positive at least. At least the AI is not going to get in their way. Imagine if that came out, they didn't go, so that would have caused a massive destruction. That would have been something. I won't put it past this game. As Jacob all over the back of Bourbon going into turn 1, does not get the move done. As well, they're not going to be. I'm not going to say they're going to be disappointed. Oh my God, look at the AI. I don't know if they're ghosted then. But I was just going to say, I think this lot here will be a little disappointed in the fact the amount of time that they have lost to the top 6. Simmerock 6 seconds behind FRT Sam, and he pitted at the same point. So, I mean, 7th place is still good. But the fact that they've lost that much time in such a short space of time, I can't say time any more than I already have done, but I have. Anyway, it is what it is. But Jacob, on the back of Bourbon, is he going to make the move into the hairpin? Probably not. Probably going to make the move down into turn 1 if he wants to, or he might just stay behind him until the last lap and try and overtake him then. But he does have to watch out for Sasha behind him. 2 teammates might work together. Go back and bob with Justin up towards the front because he's the closest person to anybody in this top 6. So, because he tries to close down on the back of Trey, but it looks like it's not going to happen. In fact, Elite Risks is actually going for the move and retakes the lead away from Stonks. My guess is he might have been pressured into that by Chudy, getting a little, well, I'm not going to say getting impatient, but maybe try and put him off a little. But Stonks now trying to go for, looked like he tried to stick his nose in into turn 4. But now he's gonna have Chudy behind him on the same lap all tyres as what he's got. It's Justin now getting very, very close to the back of TF to Trey. This top 6 separated by what? 1.5 seconds? 2 seconds at the most? This is extremely, extremely close, and it's anyone's game here as Justin now looking to go around the outside of Trey into the hairpin. He's actually got his nose there round. He's got the traction, and he's got that move done. That is it. Oh, and Trey has lost another place, but that was a great move there by Justin. Round the outside, and Sam follows him through. I don't know what happened to Trey then. I don't know if he just had a, well, obviously he's had a moment. I don't know if there was a little bit of contact, but he's now gone from 4th to 6th. But still a good move there by Justin. Justin goated. Well, it was a quite a goated move. I'll give him that. And he's done what he needed to do because now he's behind both, obviously now behind Chudy and Stonks, and they're on the same age tyres as what he's on, as he's on the battery once again, maybe to try and catch Chudy napping a little bit there, but Chudy a little bit wise to that and just manages to pull away through the exit of turn 3 with a bit of batteries on, as there's a bit of spin, and that is Bourbon. Don't know if he had contact or if that's a spin by himself, but that is Bourbon from what was a P8, P9 or P10 finish on the cards, now dropping to P12. He's behind both Patrick and Arch. We're now going to fight out for that 10th place finish, and Jacob's actually lost time to Sasha, so I wonder if there was contact between Jacob and Bourbon. Sasha obviously taking advantage and moving up into 8th place, but that's a Bourbon. Well, we'll have to see if anything gets sent into that. But back up towards the front, we'll have 3 laps to go when they start the next lap. Elite Risk still your race leader from Stonks, from Chudy, from Justin, from Sam, from Trey. TF10 in the best place at the moment. Both drivers, two cars in the top 6 as Trey goes for a move down the inside of Sam. He's going to stick his nose in, sends it, but Sam is going to force him out wide through turn 2. Is he still going to be ahead through into turn 3? Trey is still on the inside. But no, he can't get it done and has to stay behind once again. A good attempt there from Trey, trying to catch Sam out napping, but Sam was wise to it and covered the inside extremely well. But this is going to get spicy now. Stonks will probably, my guess is, go for a move on the next lap. But yeah, we've got 5 different teams in the top. Yeah, that's very true, because we do have 5 different teams in the top 6. And in fact, we've got 8 different teams in the top 9. So it's very well split. I mean, aided or not by the lap 1 carnage, but still, 8 different teams. My goat peaks. My goat peak is in P5. Yeah, if you want to say that, as Gabor's now decided to call it a day because we're not going to have any more safety cars. Stonks closing in on the back. Oh, as Chudy's actually now gone on the battery, trying to catch Stonks out a little bit there, forcing him into the move into turn 1. I don't think Stonks was wanting to go for the move, but Chudy seems to have made him go for it. And, well, Stonks now retakes the lead with just under 2 laps to go. Justin was also getting very close onto the back of Chudy, but once again, they're all just clustered in, you know, one by one by one. coming through the chicane for the penultimate time. Justin closing on the back of Chudy. Looking just over a tenth out. Is he going to make a lunge down the inside? He does not. But look at how close he actually gets to the back of Chudy going into the hairpin. It seems to me like Justin has got a little bit more downforce for that middle sector. As they come round the final 2 corners and about to start the final lap, bets are closed, no more bets in place, and here comes TTM Stonks already going defensive, going right then left. Here comes Elite Risk on the battery with the DRS. Can he get the move done? He can get the move done. Can Elite Risk? Can he hold them off now for the remainder of the lap? Stonks getting so close through turn 3 on the battery. He's burning everything that he's got. Elite Risk kind of half defending on the inside line, but Stonks going round the outside into turn 4. He'll have the inside into turn 5. Slightly later on the brakes, he's going to force Elite Risk a little bit wide. Bit of wheel banging. Chudy getting right up behind them. If anything happens to these two, Chudy will be there to take full advantage. Elite Risk trying to hang it around the outside. Can't get it done. Great driving there from the pair of them. And Stonks retakes that position. But Elite Risk is going to be got the DRS once again. Going to go send it down the inside on the TTM driver. And he gets it done. Oh, and there's contact. Oh, and Chudy hits Stonks round. And that is all she wrote. Elite Risk, he may or may not have taken his teammate out, but Elite Risk takes the win here in Spain. Justin takes second and Sam takes third place for FRT. Trey in fourth, Chudy in fifth after that collision with Stonks, and Simbarox one takes advantage and moves into P6. Stonks is going to be absolutely livid under that helmet with Chudy. Obviously, it wasn't intentional, but he is going to be raging. Sasha is 8th, Jacob 9th, Arch rounds out the top 10 for a Shazoo 1st and 10th. But what a crazy ending. Just wait for Agonize now finishes and, well, it leaves the session. Just wait for Liam, but what a race. Elite Risk, I doubted his strategy, but I will never again doubt it, and I will always follow my driver. That was a fun end. I bet you are gutted, Tez, and I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Maybe just don't go for a 1-2 in quali ever again then. Maybe that's what it was. Clearly, if you qualify 10th or 12th, that's where you need to be. That's where you need to be. But Elite Risk is your winner here for round 5 of AEC here in Spain. Justin P2 and Sam, as I mentioned, rounding out the top 3 are your podium finishers pending any inquiries. TF10 still get a good result being 4th and 5th, still get fantastic points, but obviously, again, inquiries pending, that may change. Simbarox 1 gets from 13th to 6th. It's a good result for him. Stonks going to be bitterly disappointed, dropping down to 7th after that incident at the end. And in fact, TTM in general will be disappointed, as will NVR. NVR not scoring many points at all. I think that's, what, 1 point for P14? I might be wrong with that. I might be right with that. But this is definitely going to shake up the championship. With Justin finishing in P2 for BRT, I think BRT are going to, obviously, will stay ahead and probably extend their lead. With TTM also not picking up amazing points. But that has been round 5. Thank you for joining. We will see you again next time. We'll see you next week.